Hey guys, so look, I was at a gentleman's house a couple of days ago. I'm actually putting in an air conditioning system for him today. But this gentleman had an amazing American dream story, and I just wanted to share it real quick here. He is an Iranian immigrant. He came over here 42, 43 years ago. His children were 3 and 7, and then he had another two children whenever he moved here. But he came here about 50 years ago in his early 20s and went to school to get a degree so he could work at a chemical plant over in Iran and got his degree, went back, worked over there, and then the regime came in. This was way back before it was really a theocracy over there. So he very quickly he realized that things had changed because he was really kind of Americanized. He had a pet and he drove an American car. They came down hard on him. He didn't pray 5, 6 times a day like they normally do. He just didn't. He wanted to be a little bit, independent. Well, they demoted him to almost nothing, from a supervisor over 30 or 40 workers to just being a laborer himself as punishment because he was a little Americanized. Well, um, he quickly realized that there was no future out there. People were disappearing at that time. And so long story, he defected to America, his wife and his children. It took him a couple of years to get them over here, but he couldn't get a job. Because I don't know, something about his degree or something like that, but he couldn't get a job in a chemical plant. So he started as a laborer. He just got whatever he could find, was working, doing roofing and doing plumbing. And ultimately, after about 10 years of bouncing back and forth in jobs, somebody he knew from his church um, knew another person that owned a couple of Dairy Queens. So about 30 years ago, he started 30 years ago, he started working at a Dairy Queen as maintenance. These people had 3 or 4 Dairy Queens, and he just drove around to all the different Dairy Queens. This story is how the Lord blesses you in totally unexpected ways. So this gentleman, he went from being a supervisor almost of a whole chemical plant when he was in Iran to now he's a maintenance man on several Dairy Queens. And he did that for about 15 years and worked at managing these Dairy Queens. Well, they had one shop that the owners never went to. It was in a bad part of town, and they just neglected it. And after they had that restaurant for about 3 years, they decided they were just going to abandon the restaurant, just board it up and do away with it. And he said, him and his wife said, you know what? This might be an opportunity for us. So what they did was they pulled together some funds. They borrowed money from friends. They borrowed money from they borrowed money from friends. They borrowed money from all their credit cards. They pulled up enough money to get a down payment, and uh, and so they owned a Dairy Queen. Well, they started fixing it up little by little. They worked every day from open to close. They showed up there at 7 o'clock in the morning. They didn't get home till midnight for years and years and years until their kids were old enough to come work at the place. And because of that, because of Dairy Queen, that has provided, I wouldn't say not generational wealth for them, but they have a beautiful home. They were able to put 4 children through college thanks to their Dairy Queen. And now they have 3 Dairy Queens themselves, and their sons run the Dairy Queens. Then they've kind of passed the business down to them, so they're retired, living a decent life, and now their sons are running the Dairy Queen. You know, just show you, you just don't know where the opportunities are going to come from. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great day.